recording now? Hey y'all. Sorry for all of that. Guess reading all that bad romance last week just put me in a coma. Oh. The past is the past. Let's move onward with... What? Guys, chill. I wasn't gone that long. It's only... Oh. Look. Let's get it! Okay. I kind of deserve that. I left you guys high and dry there. But could you have done it without the theatrics? Stuff happens. I can't control everything. Sometimes you go into a month-and-a-half coma after reading a month of bad romance. Or work at a film festival. It happens. The best you can do is to learn and move on. You know, the opposite of what Captain Ahab did. Segue. Bear with me, I'm a little rusty. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we go on the hunt for the legendary Moby Dick. Ha! Grow Up! Or The Whale by Herman Melville. I am so going to ruin your childhoods. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know what Moby Dick is about. This is one of the capital C classics in American, hell, in literature in general. You can't go through a literary course without discussing Melville's masterpiece. It's pretty much required reading if you're to be taken seriously as a hardcore literature fan, like Citizen Kane is for film fanatics. But like a lot, and I mean a lot of people, I never read it. Yet I know it's generally about a crazy old man trying to get revenge over a whale because this story, or at least its archetypes, are permanently ingrained in our zeitgeist. Hell, it's referenced in Matilda.
It's called Moby Dick by Herman Melville.
And like a lot of other people...
Moby what?
Ha! That's going to be a running joke, isn't it? Okay. We know the story is about Captain Ahab's revenge, but did you know that he's not the main character? In one of the most famous first lines in literature, we are introduced to our main protagonist. Call me Ishmael. Why him? More or less to be an audience/author surrogate. You'll see why. But what made him go off to be a whaler? He was bored. No, seriously, he started to get bored, and if I read right, he starts to do stupid things when he's idle, which gives him a need to seek out intriguing things, like killing whales. Chief among these motives was the overwhelming idea of the great whale itself. Such a portentous and mysterious monster roused all my curiosity. I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. Which leads us to Captain Ahab, and the rest is history, right? Not even close. We don't see Ahab or go anywhere near a ship for the first 150 pages. Instead, we are treated to Ishmael's introduction to another famous character, Quay Quay. Meeting probably one of the earliest examples of the classic finding a stranger in your bed every other romantic comedy would imitate. But as time goes on, the two, even though they are from different cultures, quickly become the best of friends, cause from Ishmael's view, I'll try a pagan friend, thought I, since Christian kindness has proved but hollow courtesy. There are a lot of Christian overtones in this book, and a lot of it is not in a positive light. Anyway, their friendship becomes the focus of the book as the two become closer and closer. Upon waking next morning about daylight, I found Quay Quay's arm thrown over me in the most loving and affectionate manner. You had almost thought I had been his wife. Oh my god, are they? No, you couldn't have gotten away with that in the 1800s. Then again, chapter 10 is titled A Bosom Friend, focusing on that friendship. And they have to share a bed nearly naked. He seemed to take to me quite as naturally and uninhibitedly as I to him, and when our smoke was over, he pressed his forehead against mine, clasped me around waist, and said that henceforth we were married, meaning in his country's phrase that we were bosom friends. He would gladly die for me, if need should be.
Oh my.
Has this been shipped? Tell me it's been shipped! This needs to be shipped! Sorry, the book doesn't go anywhere beyond that, but if Melville secretly gave us 2 gay main characters, then this book is light years ahead of its time! We undressed, and stop! That's being taken completely out of context! After 1 million ships are shipped, we are shipped to Ishmael and Quay joining the crew of the Pequod, captained by the one and only Ahab, the man who lost his leg to the legendary white whale, Moby Dick. Ishmael thought this was going to be a standard whaling mission, but to Captain Ahab, there is only one: to find and kill the white whale. It's a white whale, I say, resumed Ahab, as he threw down the top ball. A white whale! Some say he's actually a black whale. Some say he's actually a blue whale. And others say that there is no whale. It's just a metaphor about the world's injustices that God seems to let happen with no consequences to itself, or the idea that there is no God, meaning there is no design to why bad things happen and mankind's inability to accept it. But we all agree that the whale is white, right? Skin your eyes for him, men. Look sharp for white water. If ye see but a bubble, sing out. But there are some on the ship fearing that Captain Ahab's obsession with Moby will lead them to their doom. They think me mad, but I'm demonic. I am madness maddened. That wild madness that's only calm to comprehend itself, which leads to the endless hunt for Moby Dick. Ha! Stop that! As the crew questions the nature of man, wildlife, God, and a whole bunch of intellectual symbolic between the lines stuff that makes this one of the world's most respected novels. Well, frank talk, I don't really have a solid idea whether or not I like the book. On one hand, I see what it is that gives the novel its reputation. It's kind of like a waking dream. It flows from place to place, but it finds a way to connect it all. I was shocked by how I was sucked into the story within the first few pages. With these older books, you kind of have to go through a curve of when a classical story actually becomes interesting. But this hits it right off the back, straight from the first line. But then we get to the rest of the novel. After the Pequod sets sail, Ishmael starts going into the intricacies of whaling. All of it. Every single last tiny detail. Now, on one hand, this is important world-building stuff to give us an idea of what life is like on a whaling ship. Melville himself was a whaler. A lot of his novels have been noted to be kind of autobiographical to some capacity, which gives us an insight into his very mind when Ishmael rants about how whalers are the greatest people ever. From great myths being whalers, Perseus, St. George, Hercules, Jonah, and Vishnu. There's a member role for you. To the precious spermaceti they collect to make important oils. Like for king coronations. What kind of oil is used at coronations? Certainly it cannot be olive oil, nor castor oil, nor bear's oil, nor train oil, nor cod liver oil. What then could it possibly be but sperm oil in its unmanufactured, unpolluted state, the sweetest of all oils? Think of that, ye loyal Britons! We whalemen supply your kings and queens with coronation stuff! Yeah! Whaling's the greatest thing in the world! Let's head out and hindsight is a bitch! Other times, it's used to pay off later on. Like there are several chapters dedicated to how they collect the precious materials from sperm whales, messing up the ship only to have the crew clean her up like nothing ever happened, only to have the process happen again. An endless bloody cycle. Then you get to chapters like this. According to a careful calculation I have made, and which I partially base upon Captain Scoresfuzzy's estimate of 70 tons for the largest sized Greenland whale of 60 feet in length, according to my careful calculations, I say a sperm whale of the largest magnitude. What does any of this have to do with hunting Moby Dick? These chapters will break you. They happen way too often, and most of the time, they don't pay off in any meaningful way. Not to mention jarring as hell. 1 minute you're reading an epic character study that's on par with Shakespeare, only to
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Wait, what?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Stop.
Bill Nye
Stop.
the Science Guy.
Stop! Shut up! You see my dilemma. How was Matilda able to read that book? Okay, if anyone is an actual literature major, please tell me how the hell these chapters contribute to making the book a classic. Why were there 3 chapters dedicated to the picture of whales? What was the point? Hell, this might explain why the book wasn't popular in the first place. Yeah, when it was released, Moby Dick was a big flop with critics and audiences, to the point that most of Melville's work was out of print in his lifetime. Please, literature majors, I need your overthinking to explain the point of these chapters! This is honestly a strange book. It's a mixture of everything. Tone goes from comical to the dramatic to a freaking science book. And they will sneak up on you with no warning whatsoever. I squeezed that sperm till a strange sort of insanity came over me. What? And I found myself unwittingly squeezing my co-laborer's hands in it. Such an abounding, affectionate, friendly, loving feeling did this avocation beget, that at last I was continually squeezing their hands and looking up into their eyes sentimentally. This can't be! As much as to say, oh my dear fellow beings, why should we longer cherish any social acerbities, or know the slightest ill humor or envy? Come!
Good night, everybody!
Let us squeeze hands all around. Nay, let us all squeeze ourselves into each other. Let us squeeze ourselves universally into the very milk and sperm of kindness. Is this talking about a circle jerk?
Call me Ishmael.
Told you I would ruin your childhood. Let me be clear that I don't hate the entire book. When it focuses on the Shakespearean elements, it is downright brilliant. When it goes off about whaling, good God, I wish I could have stopped reading. Readers beware, this is not for the faint of heart. I honestly feel I need to read this book again just to see if I maybe missed something. I mean, there has to be something more to an old man hunting a great white sperm whale named Moby Dick. Okay, now I'm starting to overthink it. Right now, it's half and half. I like the parts that I like, and I hate the ones that I hate. Good God, Game of Thrones novels aren't this dense. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Moby Dick? Well, after going through that dense piece of work, let's try doing something lighter, easier, like the Holocaust. You know, I think I might be a masochist. I really know how to pick 'em. Till next time, have a nice day.